On a hurry, Lisha was rushing through the forest while being late to arrive to her home. She was worried that Bren, her master, will be so upset with her for coming this late. But at the same time, she was confused. Why would Master Bren want berries at this time of the day, and what's gotten into him? But she also knows that he is a picky eater, so she hopes that the berries she picked for him would come to his liking. On her way to the castle gate, it was already dark, and she was so late she was thinking that her master is going to be infuriated. Luckily, the gate was still open after sundown. This means that she won't have to spend the night outside. While running, Lisha noticed that there are no guards or night watchers around. It was all silent. Suddenly, she hears a crowd of angry people, on of them shouting, "Go search! Whoever finds first shall win a handsome reward." Lisha was worried. She started asking herself, did someone lose something important? Then in fear, Lisha realized that if they spot an untouchable like her, she will be their #1 suspect. Even if she was innocent, they will take their anger on her, saying all the bad things happened because of her lowly upbringing. Even if her master kills and dumps her body somewhere, no one would really care. We are the untouchable, are not people. That what was on her mind. Hiding behind a barrel, she heard the guard shouting, "Search everywhere." After the guards went searching, she started thinking, what should I do? People are going to ask me where I've been even if I get home safely. Suddenly she remembers, Master Bren. He's fickle, so he may cover for me if he's in a good mood. Lisha started walking, then suddenly a lamp flashed on her and a man's hand grabbed her. She tried shouting for help, then the man covered her mouth and shushed her. The man shouted angrily, "You silly girl, do you have a death wish or something? Why did you return?" Then Master Bren said, "I gave you an excuse to go outside the gate with that money in your basket. You should have escaped." Master Bren grabbed her hand and started running. Then he took her to a library and told her to come and push the bookshelves. Then a secret door opened. While walking down, they was shocked that Bren's father was waiting for them. Bren and his father started arguing. Then Bren said, "Offering a mere sacrifice is ridiculous. The only one who can control water is Her Majesty." But Bren's father didn't care. He made 2 men drag Bren and lock him inside his room. Then he took Lisha and told her that she will be the sacrifice to River God. They tied her hands and mouth and put her on the horse's back and took her to the river. Lisha begged them to spare her. Then Bren's father told her, "Why do you think that I kept an untouchable like you under my roof all this time? It's time for repay." One of the men told the father that they never offered an untouchable before and tried to convince him that it might be bad. While they were talking, a huge thunder came from the sky. Everyone became so afraid, they started regretting bringing an untouchable as a sacrifice. Bren's father didn't care. He grabbed Lisha and tried to throw her in the river, then suddenly a sword cut his hand and blood was everywhere. A prince appeared to rescue her right on time. The prince covered Lisha with his coat, then he lifted her in his arms. Everyone was surprised. What's a noble with quirk doing here? They noticed he can manipulate space. This means he is from the highest grade quirk. Everyone started getting worried about what would make him come by himself to a city in the middle of nowhere. The prince fully covered Lisha's face and told her that she doesn't have to see what is about to happen. Then everybody around her started screaming. There was bodies dead everywhere. Blood flooded the place. Heads torn apart from their bodies. It was a massacre. The prince said, "They were punished for trying to harm an Aleph." Lisha was confused. What are they getting punished for, and what is an Aleph? Then Lisha's energy started running out and she fainted between the prince's arms. When Sir Manzabel heard that the Prince Helios himself came to this city, he got confused about what the prince is doing in this secluded city. He went as fast as he can to the place where the prince is located. When he arrived, he saw the prince carrying someone in his arms. Prince Helios called Sir Manzabel. Then some heads came rolling on the ground. Sir Manzabel asked, "Who are they?" Then the prince told him, "That's your job to figure out." The prince said that he is returning to the palace and he will explain to the Ministry of Defense that he used the warp portal here tonight. So Sir Manzabel have nothing to worry about. Then the prince teleported to the palace. Sir Manzabel started shouting, "Call the mayor immediately. Find who this heads belong to right now." He knew what happened is serious since the prince had to deal with it himself. After a while, Lisha woke up and found herself in the bed lying between Prince Helios's arm. She was confused and she started crying. Then the prince started calming her down. He wiped her tears and told her that she used her power excessively. It happens when you first acknowledge your quirk. The prince grabbed her to his chest and said, "Go back to sleep. You need to rest more." She tried to thank him, but he pressed his finger on her mouth and told her not to waste more energy. Then suddenly she fell asleep. Mana started gathering from everywhere around her. The prince was worried because she never used mana before and her body may not be able to contain it. But the prince promised that he is not letting here be stomped or destroyed. In a calm and beautiful place, Lisha was sleeping on the ground. Some fairy-like beings started saying, "Aleph, Aleph is here." They asked her if she could see them now. Lisha thought this must be a dream, but it feels warm and comfortable. She thought this is how afterlife feels like. Then she hears Helios telling her that she is going to be okay. A flashback to her memories started. Just as almost all untouchables were like, her life was meaningless. She didn't know where she came from, and nothing would have changed the fact that she is untouchable as long as she had this black mark on her body. Still, she was one of the lucky ones. An old lady at the market raised her. Lisha was grateful that she took an untouchable like her. The untouchables are not allowed to own land and no one would rent to them. The only types of jobs they could find were so filthy and dangerous that no one would take. One day, Lisha was walking by the old lady's door and she found the lady was dead on the ground and her nephew was searching her, but he only found a bag of silver. She ran to a guard and told him about what she saw, but he kicked her and told her she is a lowly creature and she is not allowed to speak up. Laying in the floor in a very cold weather, she was left, but she was lucky that someone else had pity on her and took her and made her a maid in his house. One day, Lisha was walking and she was thinking about the weird dream she had, where an amazing man rescued her and told her she will be okay. But it was so silly of her. She was thinking who would comfort her like that? Maybe she wanted to live a life like one of those characters in novels. She slapped her face because this wasn't the time for these thoughts. Suddenly, Helios appeared in front of her and told her she is going to be okay again. Lisha woke up and the fairy-like beings told her they are leaving now. Lisha found herself in a luxurious room, dressing a soft silk skirt. Then she found Helios holding her and telling her how long is she going to stay like that. Lisha blushed and started screaming. Then the prince grabbed her and apologized to her. She moved away and started shaking while kneeling on the ground. Then she told him that she is an untouchable and she is not worthy of accompanying someone so noble in bed. Helios grabbed her chin and raised her face. Then Lisha realized that he is the man in her dream and it wasn't a dream after all. Helios told her that her power is stable now and asked her if she remembered anything. She said she only remembers him saving her, but it wasn't what he is referring to. The prince started explaining to her that he needed to take control of the area around her as much as possible in order to stabilize the circuit. That's why he was in such close contact to her. Lisha looked down and said sorry, but then Helios grabbed her hand and told her not to apologize and he doesn't deserve that from her. Then he told her not to kneel before anyone except Her Majesty, so she doesn't need to lower herself much either. After that, the prince kissed her hand and told her she is an Aleph. Lisha was confused, but while they were talking, suddenly her stomach started making some noise and she got embarrassed. Helios forgot that she must be exhausted, but when he noticed, he went out and sent a maid to help Lisha wash up and give her food to eat. Denia the maid treated Lisha so kindly. She gave her slippers to wear, showed her the place around and it was so majestic, made her relax while taking a bath, and she gave her a glass full of chocolate. For the first time, Lisha felt that she is being treated like a normal person and it was okay for her to feel happy finally. In the Empire of Agalia, emperors considered godlike figures. 1,000 years ago, the archdemon of flames ascended, scorched the land and the sky. Ever since then, there was no rain on this land. The first emperor, who was also the first Aleph, she defeated the archdemon and made rain. Up until today, only Alephs can bring rain. There was no transcendent being who could make the land habitable like Alephs did. Therefore, Alephs is synonymous to a demigod, which make the palace a sacred place. Kais, the imperial consort, was looking for the Emperor Athea. The guards told him she is by the fountain in the summer residence garden. There are 4 residences in the royal palace that are named after the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Among all those 4 residences, Helios's winter residence is considered the tiniest and quietest, but it's still part of royal palace. And now a strange girl is in there, and Helios held her in his arms and took her inside. So there's nothing usual about that. That made Kais want to know more about what's happening. Kais is the emperor's spouse, and he is the one who gave an heir to the emperor when she reached the age of 45. Kais was sick of trying to please the emperor to get on the good side of her. He was waiting for time where he ends all of this once and for all. He said to himself that when the time comes, he is going to grab the emperor by her hair and pull her to the ground, and have that arrogant Helios under his feet. Kais went to the Emperor Athea, and she was lying on a couch near the fountain. He kissed her hand and started saying words to flatter her, but Athea knew he was doing all of this because he was curious about Helios. She told him it was true that Helios brought a girl to the winter residence, and it's also true that she was the reason he went to the Monospell territory. Kais then tries to tell Athea that this is not what he meant from coming. He is just Helios's father, and Helios is 26 years old and remains unmarried. Then Kais told her how would he not care when he heard that Helios brought a girl to his residence. Suddenly, Athea grabs Kais' chin and kisses him. Then she told him to drop the act, and she knew that the only thing he is worried about is the rain in Monospell territory. There was unexpected rainfall in the Monospell territory. It would have been nothing if Helios didn't make a move. One of the ruling families in that city brought down to the ground. The fact that a prince made a move, the investigation against treason, the girl he brought, and the unexpected rainfall, all of this made Kais think that there must be something. Athea told Kais that she can't really give him an answer about anything. Then Kais told her that if something good is about to happen to the prince, he just wants to be ready and make the necessary arrangement. Athea told him that Helios have been troubling her with his belated nuptials, but he still has a sense of responsibility. That's why he brought Lisha after all, so he is going to take care of her. Athea then held Kais and started having fun with him for a while. After Kais finished, he found that his father Marquis of the Shaden came to see him. Kais told his father that he could have waited for him in the spring residence, but his father didn't know that he would take this long to come back. Both of them went into the horse carriage. Kais then started explaining to his father that he thinks that the girl is another Aleph, and having two Alephs is going to make things complicated, so they have to get her away from Helios first. Otherwise, it will be difficult to eliminate her. Kai's father then told him that they should try to draw her out of the winter residence. It will be best if they took her to Kai's residence, but either summer residence or autumn will be fine. Kais can't believe this is happening when they're close to their big day. He told his father that they will need more time. The next day, Denia the maid was showing Lisha the winter residence where she was going to stay. Denia told her to choose the room she liked the most. All of them was beautiful, but Lisha chose the blue room because it makes her feel like she is deep in the ocean. After that, Denia took Lisha and made her meet Caleb the chef. He was the one who made the food for Lisha the day before. Lisha started happily saying what she liked about the food, and she was excited to thank him in person. Denia made Lisha take a seat until the chef prepares the food for her. The chef started telling Lisha how he became the chef in this palace. But then Lisha starts to remember her miserable past where she was a mouse catcher and she used to catch mice and eat them just to stay alive. Then she remembered how her master Bren hired her out of pity after hitting her with his carriage. She would have been a mouse catcher a while longer and eventually gets sold off to some place if this never happened. Then Lisha started remembering how other maids used to treat her so bad, and how Bren used to trap her and how he helped her escape. Suddenly, the chef apologizes for making Lisha wait. Then he serves her the meal he made. Lisha thanked him, then she started eating and it was really good. She really liked it. Lisha was starving. Her hard work has made her constantly malnourished. But the bigger problem was her emotional state. She knows that she's no longer an untouchable with her head, but not with her heart. Suddenly Denia remembers Prince Helios's orders to Marquis Palea, one of the 6 imperial knights. The prince told Marquis to make Lisha into a child, whether it be something petty or outrageous. He wants her to be able to speak her mind. Now Denia understands what the prince meant by this. Lisha needs various experience, especially about what it's like to be loved unconditionally like a child. Lisha was so full after eating, but Caleb told her there is still dessert coming and she will regret passing it. Lisha was excited and told him that she can eat more, so he told her to wait for a moment until he gets her the dessert. Suddenly, another maid came and told Lisha she prepared tea for her dessert. Once Lisha saw the other maid, she quickly stood up, but Denia told her she doesn't need to stand up when a maid brings her tea. Awkwardly, Lisha then sat down. The other maid told Lisha that her name is Lethe, and she will be serving Lisha tea from now on. Lisha remembered that Master Bren had a maid who served him tea too. Lisha always wanted to serve someone tea one day. Lisha then told Denia if she can teach her how to pour tea, and Denia agreed. So, she started teaching her, and while Lisha was trying to pour, The kettle was heavier than she thought, and when she touched the handle, it was too hot. The kettle slipped from Lisha's hand, then suddenly Prince Helios came from behind her and caught the kettle before it falls down. Lisha thought Helios is not here because he's busy with work. Lisha apologized to him. Then he told her she shouldn't be apologizing. Helios told Denia that pouring tea was supposed to be her job. Lisha thought Denia might get in trouble because of her, so she quickly held Helios's arm and told him that she asked Denia to teach her. Everyone was surprised that Lisha came this close to Helios, and when Lisha realized what she did, she quickly backstepped and apologized. Helios told her she doesn't need to apologize to him. Caleb asked Helios if he could have a seat because Lady Lisha is feeling uneasy to have her guest stand there. Both Lisha and Helios took a seat. Then the dessert was put on the table. Lisha pushed it to Helios and said she is still full from the meal earlier. Helios thanked her and told her he doesn't have much of a sweet tooth. Helios started pouring tea and gave it to Lisha. She gratefully thanked him. Lisha was thinking about how Helios is like a fence that protects her. She wanted to tell him how grateful she is of him, but she didn't know how to let him know. She started asking herself if there is even a way for her to repay all this. Denia asked Helios what brings him here at this time of the day. He told her that he met the emperor just now. Everyone was surprised that he met Athea the emperor. Helios started remembering what happened when he met Athea. Athea agreed to postpone Lisha's princess coronation to some other day, just like Helios said. The new Aleph would need some time to be prepared too. Athea then told Helios that he is quite fond of Lisha. Helios then told her that he is going to take responsibility of her. Helios then told her that when rescuing a wounded animal, one ought to treat its wound and return it to the wild when it's ready to stand on its own. Athea told him he is right. She noticed that Helios became so considerate and she had no idea. Lisha was so happy when she was eating her cake. Helios then asked her if she likes chocolate, and she answered him yes. She feels very pampered when she eats it. Denia then suggested Lisha a jar of chocolate and told her there's a candy store in downtown and she can choose as many types of candies she wants and put them in a jar. And chocolates too. Lisha was very excited about what she hears. But Helios thought they must be cheap. Then Denia told him she bets that Lisha would love them, but he was not thinking the same and said so wasteful. Lisha felt sad when she heard him, but when he noticed that, you don't need more than an hour to change, do you? She didn't understand him. Then he told her, I thought you wanted to go, right? Go get ready. Lisha was very happy when she heard that. She rushed to get ready and told him to give her 10 minutes. Denia went with her to help her get dressed. After getting ready, Denia told her to go have fun. Lisha then went with Helios to the carriage. While in the carriage, it was all silent and they didn't talk. Helios then asked her if he is making her uncomfortable, but Lisha said no. She told him that he saved her life and she is always so grateful, so much more than she could possibly imagine. He told her that he didn't do it out of mercy. It's only natural for him to give a proper protection to an Aleph that she deserves. Aleph, a magnificent being that controls water. That's what Helios told Lisha, but even though he said that's who she was, she still feels like she is still an untouchable girl inside. Lisha then told Helios that if he is just giving her proper protection, he doesn't really need to take her outside. She asked him why is he being so nice to her. He told her he is not. She told him then he just is nice to her for no reason. That's how she see it. Helios answered her and said, nonsense. Lisha apologized to him. But what they didn't know, while they were on their way to downtown, there was actually someone hiding in the forest and following them. Lisha and Helios arrived to the candy shop. There was so many treats in there, Lisha didn't even know what to choose. The shop owner told her to take her time. Then she asked him if it's possible to put chocolates in a glass jar. He told her yes, but in warm weather like today, chocolates will melt and make the jar messy. Helios then told him then we make the jar cold. Then Helios with his magic made a frosty jar and gave it to Lisha to get her chocolates in it. The shop owner was really surprised that he made a permanent artifact so easily. After Lisha got her chocolates, Helios told her that he has some business to do and he will be right back, so there's no need to worry. Lisha then asked the wagoner if they can walk around this area a bit while waiting for Helios, and the wagoner told her yes, and they started walking around the area. It felt so surreal to Lisha. She was walking on the street out in the open like this, but no one points their finger at her. Lisha then saw a store and asked the wagoner if this is a general store. He answered yes and asked her if she needs something. Lisha wanted to buy some gifts for when she comes back to the palace. While talking, suddenly Lisha heard a girl saying, "You are Brenz's." The wagoner asked Lisha, "What's wrong, my lady?" The girl heard him saying "my lady," then told Lisha, "Oh, so you are a lady now?" This girl was Master Bren's fiancée, Lady Isabel. At another place, Helios was walking to an alley, and there was a person hiding in there. It was the person who was following them all this time. The person was afraid. He was worried that Helios could have noticed him. He was sent to collect information about the guest in the winter residence. He just followed the guest, but he didn't know that Prince Helios was with her. The spy got worried. He tried using a teleport scroll to run away, but it got ripped instantly. Helios was getting closer to him. So he started sprinting, but suddenly, a huge fire lit in front of him. He screamed and tried using a physical enhancement scroll to jump over the buildings. But it also got ripped. So he started climbing the wall. Helios then told him there's no use. There's a barrier around this area. Then Helios caught him with his magic and made the spy fly to his hand. Helios was shocked. They don't even know who Lisha is, but they already sent someone after her tail. The spy was shocked. He didn't know how did Helios know about the Shadens. Suddenly, a dark fire started burning the spy until he disappeared. They planted a demonic curse on him to destroy all the evidence. Helios knew that's something that the Shadens would do. Caught a thing that looked like an insect. I was like a little demon with wings. Helios was worried because this means there's demons in the imperial territory. Back to Lisha's place. Lisha was shocked that the girl was Lady Isabel. Isabel did hear how Lord Covern displeased someone important and got punished while trying to teach an insolent maid a lesson. Isabel realized this maid was Lisha. Come to think of it, Lisha was different from other untouchables. Bren secretly cared about her, although pretending not. Isabel then remembered when she was talking to Bren from behind the bars and he was telling her that his family business it nothing she should concern herself with. Considering all, Bren told her they should call of their engagement as well. Isabel was angry when she remembered that Bren had the audacity to say that to her face. Lisha then told her that Bren didn't get punished because of her. Lord Covern was, and before Lisha completes her talking, Isabel got really angry and told her how dare you refer to him by his name. Then she tried slapping her, but the wagoner got in the way and protected Lisha. Lisha got angry and started shouting, "I am not your maid. And neither is the wagoner. So you don't have the right to mistreat people this way." Isabel got really angry and grabbed Lisha from her clothes and told her, "How dare you teach me what I can and cannot do?" Suddenly Helios came and said, "What's all the ruckus about?" When Isabel saw Helios, she quickly kneeled in front of him and told him she offers her deepest respects to the water shadow of the Empire. Isabel was really worried. She was thinking, what is the Prince Helios doing here? Helios then turned to Lisha and asked her who made her cry. Lisha told him no one and she is all right. Isabel was really worried. She was thinking about what should she do. She feels like she is causing a trouble here. Helios pressed Lisha to his chest and told her to tell him who dared to bring her tears to her eyes. Lisha told him that she was just a little angry and she doesn't want to trouble anyone here. Helios then told her let's call it a day and return, and told her he will summon a merchant to the palace next time. Isabel was shocked that Lisha belongs to Prince Helios now. While in the carriage, Helios told Lisha that she doesn't have to be afraid anymore. Lisha told him she is not, and she is feeling like she became very strong. He asked her how. She told him that she told someone not to hit her, since Lisha is a filthy untouchable. Isabel thought she could just hit her without thinking much, but it upset Lisha. If that had happened, Denia would have been sad and the wagoner could have been in trouble. And Helios would have been mad too. Lisha couldn't believe she was in Aleph, the sky and the river of Empire. But Helios said he was without an ounce of doubt in his eyes. Everyone in the winter residence has been treating Lisha so nicely. Lisha is being appreciated by other people. After Lisha told all of this to Helios, he was glad that she got that. He told her, "I respect your decision," and let the woman off the hook. But there is no second time if you don't wish to see me upset again. Helios told Lisha she should learn to express her anger by herself. She told him she will try. Lisha then told Helios she wants to ask him a favor. After that, Lisha went to see Bren in the place he was locked in. Bren told her she is out of her mind. He noticed there's a good thing going on in her life. So he asked her angrily what did she come here. Lisha told him she was just wondering if he is okay. She told him she came here because she really wanted to thank him in person. Bren angrily told her, "You are thankful. My father tried to kill you. But you want to thank me? Do you only see the things you want to see?" Lisha then told him that he was trying to help her. He even let her escape and it would have worked if she didn't return. Bren then told her that he just didn't want his father to do something he would regret later. He told her that the only one who deserves her thank you is her new owner. Bren then told her to get lost and leave him alone. Helios then put his hand on her shoulders to calm her. But Lisha told him it's okay. She told him that Bren's snarky comments don't hurt her. Lisha then apologized to Bren for bothering him, but still thanked him for attempting to save her, for taking an injured girl and offering her a job, and for not calling her filthy even once. She thanked him again and told him to take care. Lisha then got out with tears in her eyes. She thanked Helios and told him now they can return to the residence. But before she completes her talking, suddenly the door slammed with magic and Helios was with Bren in the room. They started looking to each other. Then Bren started asking Helios is there anything he would like to tell to him? Helios angrily replied, "How arrogant." Sir Monospell at first thought Lisha was a new mage that Helios discovered. Lisha was worried about the door because Helios was in there. But Monospell told her the door is sealed now. It looks like His Highness wanted to have a word with the Cavern boy. Sir Monospell started realizing that Lisha might be the girl who was under the cape back then. So he told her he wanted to ask her something. He asked her who is she. Lisha started thinking what should she say. But just like the time back when she was on the street after getting kicked out of the fish store, she finds herself in an unknown place again. But she is no longer an untouchable or a maid. She became someone totally different now. So Lisha talked without fear and told him she is an Aleph now. Back to Helios and Bren. Helios was talking to Bren and asked him, "Did you throw your manners into the same pit your family is in?" When Bren realized that, he stood up and then told Helios, "To what does Bren owe the pleasure of having His Highness visit this shabby place?" Helios then looked at him and asked him, "Are you a water shadow?" Bren was shocked when he heard that question. A water shadow is an Aleph's male sibling. Despite having a powerful ability comparable to that of an Aleph, they shall never be one. Bren asked Helios if Lisha is an Aleph. Helios scared him if he knew it. Bren then told him that he saw a sudden downpour that day. He asked Helios if he knew why they had been offering sacrifices to the river god there. Bren told Helios that there was a popular myth in that area. Several hundreds years ago, there were two princesses who happened to be both Alephs. In case of having more than two Alephs in the royal family, it's the norm that the stronger takes the throne, given that the younger one should have become the next emperor. But not only was she too young, but she was also an illegitimate child. The emperor did not wish to recognize her as her heir, and the firstborn wanted to see her younger dead. The young girl decided to flee, instead of fighting for the throne, and arrived to the outskirts not the comprised by the imperial territory. Villagers who were suffering from long-lasting drought without the emperor's grace saw her, and thought their problem would be solved if they sacrificed the Aleph girl to make her their own river god. Bren told Helios that after the ruling families considered to kill the princess, they made a pact to offer their daughters in turn every 18 years to console the river. Helios then told him that they have the complete records of all Aleph's births and deaths, and the incident Bren just mentioned never happened in real life. Bren told him that he had always considered it nothing more than a groundless nonsense too. But then it occurred to him as he was looking at the rain that day. Perhaps it was real. That an Aleph is killed in this land a long time ago. Helios then said, "And you think Lisha could be a descendant of that murdered Aleph?" Bren asked Helios how did he know that he is Lisha's brother. Helios told him it was a simple deduction. He told Bren that he said it's customary to sacrifice daughters, so they must have considered themselves lucky to stumble upon someone like Lisha. Those scumbags are willing to do anything if they can get away with it. And Helios told Bren that he is sure they didn't think twice about it when they found out their prey was an untouchable. Helios then said, "Enough with that story." He told Bren that he have a preposition for him. Helios told him to go to Molten Mountain Fort and serve there. Molten Mountain Fort is the most dangerous battlefront on the brink of war against the fiends. Bren was really shocked and said, "You are allowing me an honorable death that I don't really deserve." Bren then told him that he appreciated his generous offer. Helios then told Bren that he is not telling him to go there and die fighting, that he is sending him to because he is a water shadow. Bren then shouted and said, "What do you mean?" He told him that he is involved in attempting to murder Aleph, which is considered high treason. Helios then told Bren that he is also a water shadow and he will be exempted from his charges. Water shadow is the protector that Aleph first encounters. Their power is destined to be used only for Aleph. Helios then told him that since Lisha is awakened as Aleph, Bren will soon be as will. Helios then turned and on his way out he told Bren to not forget that his life belongs to someone else now. And after that Helios went out. Bren then realized that Helios spared his life and this was his way of telling him that he should live on and redeem himself. While Helios was on his way out, he noticed it took longer than he thought. So he called Lisha and said, "Let's go." But Lisha wasn't there when he got out. A servant took Helios to the place where they escorted Lisha. Helios got in, then Sir Monospell told him that he didn't want to have the noble lady stand in the dingy hallway for a long time, so he invited her here. Lisha then told Helios that she told Monospell she is an Aleph. Suddenly, Monospell and the servants kneeled in front of Lisha. Lisha was flustered. She was telling them to please stand up. Then they asked her if they may raise their heads. She quickly said, "Yes, yes, please get up." Lisha then asked Monospell if he believed what she said, and he told her yes. His Highness will never forgive anyone who falsely claims to be an Aleph. He told Lisha that he is going to call her my lady for a moment, since her real name is too noble to be said out loud in a place like this. Monospell told Lisha that she doesn't need to make an effort to prove herself to anyone. He told her that every life form in this world exists by her grace, not the other way around. Lisha told Helios that she knows that she is not supposed to show her face. She asked him if she did something she shouldn't have done. Helios put his hand on her face and told her no. He told her that she can say anything she wants to anyone. Helios then called Monospell and told him that he decided what to do with Bren Covern. He told him that Bren is a noble with a quirk, so he is going to give him a chance to redeem himself at the Molten Mountain Fort. Lisha was worried about Bren because he is going to the battlefield to fight the fiends. But Helios told her not to worry, he will be back in one piece. Out of nowhere, after seeing them together, Sir Monospell them, when are they planning to get engaged? Lisha blushed and then looked to Helios. Helios then angrily told him that there is no such plan, and told him to think twice before he says this nonsense. Helios then took Lisha and went back to the palace. The next day, Lisha woke up and she can't believe that she woke up late. This would never happen if she was still a maid. Lisha was thinking that she needs to learn how to read and write in proper manners in order to be the right person for her position, and she wanted to practice how to manipulate mana as an Aleph. When Lisha got out of the room, she found that Lethe the maid was waiting for her. Lethe then told her that she was assigned to be Lisha's handmaid from today and she will try her utmost to best serve Lisha. Lisha was shocked, she had no idea she would be having a handmaid. Lethe asked her what would she like for breakfast. Lisha told her that it's too late for that, and told her that if she has any leftover oatmeal, she will eat it. Lethe told her that's not the type of food she should eat, but Lisha told her it's such a hassle to prepare a meal at this time. Lisha told her that it may disrupt everyone's daily schedule, which she hates to do. Lethe asked her then what her day going to be like today. Lisha told her she is planning to study. Lethe suggested her to have some sandwiches prepared for her and go for a picnic where she could read books in the garden and have sandwiches as lunch. Lisha really liked the idea. Then Lethe told her she will go and prepare. While out, Lisha liked the weather and the place was perfect for her to focus. She started reading a book, but suddenly it was like she teleported to that calm place and she heard the fairy-like beings saying, "Wow, she is an Aleph. She smells different from our Aleph." Lisha didn't know what was it that just happened. Suddenly she hears a noise near the bushes, then she asked if there is someone there. Lisha went to check and she found a little girl by the river. Lisha didn't know who is she. But suddenly the little girl started running away, and while running she fall down. Lisha took the little girl with her and asked her if she is alright. Lisha thought the little girl must have gotten lost while playing, so she asked her which way did she come from. The little girl didn't answer her. Lisha started thinking that the little girl is too young to speak or she is scared to talk. Lisha then asked her if she came here by herself. The little girl said no. After some questions, Lisha asked her if she had lunch yet. The girl shook her head saying no. So Lisha asked her if she would like to share lunch with her. The girl then pointed at the chocolate jar that Helios gave to Lisha. Lisha told her she can share it with her as much as the little girl want. The little girl looked to the chocolate then said they are from my brother. Lisha guessed that she has an older brother. After the girl ate the chocolate, her hands were covered in chocolate. Lisha got her a napkin and while she was getting it, the girl grabbed the jar and started looking at it. Lisha asked her if she liked the jar, and the girl said yes. Lisha was thinking that she could give the little girl as many chocolates as she wants, but not the jar. She was thinking that no one is going to take it away from her. Lisha then wiped the little girl's hand, but while wiping them she noticed a bruises from a rod on the girl's hand. Someone hit the little girl on the wrist so that they wouldn't be so visible, just like what used to happen with Lisha. But who would hit a noble child like her? Lisha then asked the girl if these bruises hurt. The girl told her it's okay, and suddenly magic started coming from under the girl. It was a quirk. The girl then told her it's a secret, then suddenly teleported in front of her and disappeared. Lisha was shocked that the girl used her quirk like it was nothing, and Lisha doesn't even know how to do anything. Lisha started remembering Helios's words when he told her that she is an Aleph, so she doesn't need to rush, all her power will come back to her in the end. But when that would be? Lisha was thinking. Suddenly Lethe came rushing to Lisha and told her that the Theodel merchants are here right now. When Lisha returned, she was surprised of what she saw. Necklaces, mats, flowers, paintings, everything was there. While Lisha was watching these things, a man came and told her that they are all top-of-the-line goods handpicked by their finest merchants. He told her that he is Wat Theodel of the Theodel merchants and it's such an honor to present their items to the lady of the winter residence. Wat told her that he came for her and he is lucky enough to come and show her their selections after he heard that Lisha came to the downtown without actually looking around the store. Lisha then remembered what happened that time. She was shocked that Helios really summoned the whole place just for her. Lisha told Wat that she was planning to buy a few small gifts and she didn't mean to trouble him like this. Wat told her that she didn't trouble him at all. He told her that he wouldn't have come if it wasn't going to be something mutually beneficial. Lethe gave Lisha her wallet and told her to go and take a look around. Lisha didn't know what to do. There were so many items there that she wanted. Lisha didn't want to waste money, especially when it's not even her money. Lethe whispered to her and said that it's not a waste of money if you buy some items to help with your study. Lethe started suggesting Lisha some stuff to buy that will help her in her study. Lisha couldn't deny it, that she bought too much stuff, but she was glad that she got something for Caleb. She wanted to give something to Denia as well, but she must be very busy, since Lisha didn't see her that day. Lisha wanted to give something to Helios as well, she really missed him. At night, Caleb was walking to Helios's room. Denia was there with Helios, but she was dressed different this time. Caleb saw so many dark mages on the ground, then he asked Helios where did he even get them. Helios told him that he went to Shadow Mountain's fort and there are still dark mages left in that area. Shadow Mountain's fort. It's one of the biggest frontline against the fiends. Since it's not rare to come in contact with fiends there, people with no quirk or very little are easily tricked by them and dabble with dark magic. Caleb told Helios that he could have just let the fort commander take care of his, and then he asked Helios why did he bring them all the way over here. Denia told him that there's more to it than this. Denia told him that they have found 6 traces of dark magic in the capital, and one of them leads to a worker who has access to the palace. Caleb was shocked when he heard that. Then he told them that it's safe to say that someone in high-ranking families is in league with the fiends. Helios said to Kale, "You've already retired." Caleb asked him if he is telling him to stay out of it. Helios told him that he will be more than happy to have him back, but he reminded Caleb that this is a political matter. Traitors are making a move in the palace under the Emperor's protection. The fact that Helios brought these people to the winter residence without reporting to Her Majesty, it only means he's suspicious of someone who is very close to her, and there's only one that fits the profile, and the palace is filled with his people and allies. Caleb realized that the only one who fits this profile is Kai's, the imperial consort. Helios then asked Caleb if he still want to be on this. He advised Caleb to stay away from it if he wants to spend his retirement in peace. Caleb was shocked because what Helios is doing might directly harm the royal princess. Caleb, the ex-Grand General, told Helios that he decided to stay away of it. He told him that he is going to spend his life making snacks for Lisha. Helios then told Denia to find out who they work for. Helios then went out and closed the door after him. Caleb then was thinking, is Helios really planning to lock horns with Kai's? Not only will it jeopardize the royal princess's right to succession, but it's going to affect Lady Lisha as well. Caleb was thinking that Helios is not the type who would handle matters based on a simple suspicion. He started thinking that something happened to Helios. Helios was thinking about what Caleb told him about directly harming the royal princess. He was thinking that even he tells her the truth about her father planning to sacrifice her in order to summon an archdemon, she is still too young to understand that. Helios then was thinking that it doesn't matter, he will just make sure that all of this doesn't happen. While walking, Helios saw Lisha standing next to the garden. When she turned to look at him, she was already crying, but it was all an imagination from Helios. He was thinking that Lisha is someone he should protect and care for, and one of the numerous tasks he should take care of. He remembered when she was out at night like this on that day as well. She told him that she just wanted to live a peaceful, comfortable life under his protection, so Helios thought his job was done by just giving them to her. But then he saw her crying. At that very moment he started seeing her as another human being, just as much alive as he is. Helios was thinking, what does that have to do with anything? It's not going to change the situation, nor that he has to do. He thought he should return, but then Lisha noticed him, so she called him and ran after him. She was very happy that he came back. She told him that she woke up with this inexplicable feeling that he had returned. He told her that her mana perception has improved and it's commendable. Lisha thanked him. Suddenly Helios asked her, "Why are you thanking me?" He told her it wasn't a compliment. He then told her that Aleph is a powerful, transcendent being. There is a reason why they are called a demigod. He told her that it's only natural for an Aleph to detect the movement of mana. "But you put your faith in me," said Lisha. She told him that even though she cannot fully control her power, he still believed in her. Helios told her that she just awakened as an Aleph, and of course, it takes some time to learn to use her power. Lisha told him that she will know when he is coming back right away from now on. So he asked her if that matter. "It does to me," said Lisha while happily looking to him. Helios then told her that he thought she came here for a reason. Lisha suddenly remembered something. She told Helios to wait for a few seconds. She told him that she has something she would like to give him, but she doesn't have it with her right now. Lisha then rushed to get it. Lisha came back and gave him a letter envelope. She told him that the Theodel merchants came by earlier. So, she bought small gifts for Denia, Caleb and Lethe, the new maid. Lisha told him that she didn't know what to give him, but she wanted to give him something. Helios thanked Lisha and told her that she should go inside now because the wind is quite chilly. She told him okay and hoped him to have a good night. After Lisha went inside, Helios opened the envelope. It was a letter where Lisha thanked him for everything he did to her. The next day, Lisha met Denia. Lisha was shocked that Denia is actually a knight working for Helios. Lisha told her that she had a feeling she wasn't a maid since she goes out of town with Helios quite often. Lisha then said, "But you have been pretending to be one so that I wouldn't be so intimidated, right?" Lisha then gave her a gift and thanked her. Denia was really happy from the gift and then went to hug Lisha. At another time, Lisha was going to meet Lisha. She was wondering where Helios found such a lovely lady, but she may never quite find out that Denia is a marquis. That will only drive her even further. Denia got in the room and while saying good morning to Lisha, she noticed that Caleb was there too. Denia asked him what is he doing here. So, he told her that Lisha asked for his presence and said she needs his help. Lisha told Denia that there is a new butler coming today, and there is something she would like to discuss. Lisha was wondering what the new butler is going to be like. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. It was the new butler. He came in and introduced himself to Lisha, and told her his name is Sebastian. Everyone was amazed from his look. He looked really strict. Sebastian noticed that Denia was in the room, so he told Lisha that there is an uninvited guest here and asked her if she would like him to make him escort her out. Denia yelled and said, "What did you say?" Lisha told Sebastian that Denia is not an uninvited guest. She is her friend. Sebastian then told Lisha that no matter how high one's social status is, they're all her subjects, even a marquis like Denia. Denia was shocked that he told Lisha her actual rule. Lisha was surprised when she heard that, because the marquis is someone really high even among nobles. This was supposed to be a secret, but now Sebastian told Lisha about it. Sebastian told Lisha that she shouldn't speak so politely either. There is a certain code of conduct that someone of her status need to follow. Sebastian said that he didn't expect much from Caleb, but Sebastian then told Denia that she didn't teach Lisha anything but just pampered her. Caleb then told Sebastian that Lisha has been here for only 2 months now. He then asked Sebastian and said, "Are you being disrespectful to her just to nitpick?" When Sebastian realized what he did, he bowed then apologized to Lisha. Lisha was thinking that Sebastian is right. She can't be expecting everyone to be pampering he forever. Lisha then told Sebastian that there is something she wants to discuss with him. It was about planning the budget in winter residence. Denia knew that Sebastian has some knack for numbers, but just that those numbers include how many enemies he has slain, since he is a dark mage hunter working for Helios. Lisha told him that she would like to provide her employees with a better breakfast, as she was a maid herself, and she knows that mornings are the busiest and hardest time of all day. She always wanted to warm herself up with a hearty breakfast, so she knows how they really feel in this job. Lisha asked Sebastian if it would be possible to allocate more money to the breakfast for all employees. He told her that she may proceed with however she wishes, but it has to be done with specific, detailed plans to see if it's sustainable. Otherwise, all her effort will just go to waste along with budget. Caleb told him that he will be helping Lisha out with that. Lisha happily thanked him. Sebastian then told Lisha that now he can tell her what he originally came for. He showed her an invitation and told her it's an invitation came from the spring residence. It's for the Autumn Rain Festival. Autumn Rain Festival is an event held on the first rain after harvest farmers clear up their farmlands and waterways and burn the empty harvested land off to eliminate weed and pest species. The fire also means something spiritual. People bring out their old and broken furniture, worn-out clothes or pieces of paper that they write down any misfortunes they wish to avoid and then burn them all. But in the end, fire is the power of fiends. At noon, Her Majesty brings rain on the imperial territory to put out fire. Sebastian and Denia then started explaining to Lisha what will happen in this festival, and then Denia started suggesting her something she could do while watching the fire from a safe distance. People tend to be more generous about a bit of impoliteness on a festival day. Although Lisha isn't very familiar with the royal manners, it wouldn't be too noticeable if the invitation wasn't sent by Kais himself. It's obvious how people will treat an Aleph who wasn't born in the palace, so they postponed Lisha's coronation so that she would have enough time to learn everything she needed to know. Denia was thinking that she could return to Molten Mountain Fort a bit later. Sebastian then asked Denia if she has done the mission that Helios gave to her. She told him that Lisha comes before any mission. Sebastian and Denia then started fighting again. Caleb then told Lisha that she has to use the time to learn rules and manners. Then he told her that Sebastian is a good teacher, and Helios will be protecting her and will be by her side on that day. Then Caleb told Lisha not to worry much, then asked her to get going now and start learning. At another place, Isabel was waiting in a room. Then a woman came in and asked her if she made her wait. Isabel stood up and told her that it's a great pleasure to finally meet her. Then Isabel introduced herself to the woman. The woman was called Lady Karen Lacade. Karen then asked Isabel to take a seat. Lady Karen Lacade is Prince Helios's ex-fiancée who was believed to marry a crown prince and birth the next Aleph. Being a distant relative to the royal family, she has inherited some of Aleph blood too. With her rare type quirk, she was considered the only hope who could bring an heir to the royal family. Until Princess Astria was born, Helios wanted to cancel the engagement, because at this point, the new Aleph that they may father, Karen, is only going to add more confusion to Astria's right of succession, and that is the last thing Helios wants for the country. Although such declaration was brought upon Karen so abruptly, she did not even bat an eye. She told Her Majesty that their engagement was for the purpose of producing an heir, and now they are truly blessed with one, Princess Astria. Karen said that she believes it's the right for her to return to her original status, serve the emperor as one of her subjects. So, the engagement was called off, but everyone praised Karen's dignity and selflessness, and there was no doubt in people's mind that when the heir to the throne is announced, they will be each other's soulmates once again. Back to Isabel and Karen. While sitting, Isabel was thinking, what could someone like Karen possibly need from a Barnes daughter in the countryside like her? Karen asked Isabel if they have met before. Isabel told her that they met before at the birthday party of Lady Estelle once. Karen then told her that she invited her today because there is something she was curious about. Karen then said, I heard that you are familiar with the guest in the winter residence. Is this correct? Karen said, no one knows who she is. But then she told Isabel that she heard that this girl speaks very politely even to the maids. Karen then said to Isabel, your fiancé is from Monospell territory, so I was wondering if you could shed some light on this matter. Isabel told her that he is her ex-fiancé now and the engagement is off. Then she told her that this guest was her fiancé's maid and she is an untouchable. And because of that lowly untouchable, Bren is going to die fighting the fiends in the front line. Then she told her that her family is on the brink of collapsing with the whole engagement being called off. Karen asked Isabel if she can take responsibility of her words. Isabel told her that it was like an open secret that her ex-fiancé took in an untouchable as his maid. She told her that she has a mark on her body, and that will be a concrete proof that she is telling the truth now. Karen was kind of shocked that Helios brought an untouchable like her to his side. Karen thought that taking care of this girl wouldn't hurt. She then invited Isabel to come to her house on the festival day morning. On the other hand, Lisha has been busy learning new things. Basic manners, table manners, and basic education. She was trying hard to learn them and kept practicing. One day, Sebastian told her that he is going to skip today's class of lunch manners. Lisha then asked him if she can pack lunch and go eat it in the garden. He told her yes, but only if she promised to come straight back without getting sidetracked. Lisha then packed her things and went to the garden. When she reached the garden, she was looking around trying to find that little girl she saw last time, but she couldn't find her. Lisha then took her frozen glass jar that Helios gave her and then put it on the ground. She then said, baby girl, you really wanted to have this and I felt bad not giving it to you then. Then she said that she brought the jar as a gift for her. Suddenly, the girl magically teleported next to her. Lisha went to her, but she found the girl holding her toy and crying near the bushes. Lisha went to her and asked her why is she crying. The girl told her that she is not crying. She will be in trouble if she does. The girl told her that her doll is hurt. She told Lisha that her father told her to throw Wethel away or he will kill him. Lisha was shocked that a father could say this to his little daughter. The girl begged her to save Wethel. Lisha told her that she will fix him up and return him to her, but she has to wait a few days. The girl told her she could wait. Lisha then started chatting with the girl. She knew that this doll was from the girl's nanny and she told her to keep him close. Then Lisha started talking about the girl's parents. She told her, I'm sure that your mother and father gave you as much love as they can. The little girl started shivering and she looked afraid. Lisha thought she said something wrong. Then she remembered the jar. Lisha took the jar and gave it to the girl. The girl hugged it and said, smells like brother. The girl then said, my brother, he protects Rhea. So, her name was Rhea. Lisha then asked Rhea how she can meet her again to bring her the doll. Rhea told her she will come here when Lisha gets her the doll. Rhea said, there's a hole. Lisha then went back to the winter residence. Sebastian welcomed her, then he noticed that Lisha is holding a doll he never seen before here. Sebastian asked Lisha where did she get this doll. She told him that a child entrusted her with this doll and Lisha promised to fix it and give it back to this child. Sebastian asked her, a child? Lisha told him yeah, a little girl comes to the garden occasionally. Sebastian then said, I wonder how that girl came into the garden. Lisha told him that the child said there is a hole and told him that she thinks the child teleports to here. Sebastian was shocked from what he heard, but he didn't show Lisha his reaction. Sebastian told Lisha to go get some rest for now. Then he took an orb and called Helios with it. He asked Helios if he could come to the winter residence right now. Sebastian said, I believe we have a breach in the barrier around the building. Helios came back to the palace and went to the garden with Sebastian. Sebastian told him that according to what Lisha said and the girl teleported here, there should be a hole here. Helios then used his magic to try to detect if the barrier is damaged. Helios said that there's no damage in the barrier, but a hole isn't inaccurate either. Sebastian asked him what did he mean. Helios then told him that a sacred zone is formed in this area. Someone with a strong quirk can create an area that only they can control. Such an area is called the quirk zone. Among all the quirk zones, the one created by an Aleph is called the sacred zone. So, the hole in the barrier was actually the sacred zone Lisha created in the barrier. Sebastian realized that the girl must have detected the void in the barrier and entered through there. Helios told Sebastian that he is going to keep Lisha's sacred zone as it is so that they can identify the girl when she comes by again. Back to the palace, Lisha was sewing the doll to fix it. The maid told her that she could just let the seamstress take care of the doll. Lisha told her that she can sew something simple like this too. The girl trusted Lisha enough to leave her favorite doll with her. So Lisha wanted to do it with her own hands. Suddenly, Lethe came rushing, then yelled and said, "His Highness is here." Lisha was surprised that he is here right now. Lethe told her that she doesn't know what brought him here, but he seems to return in a hurry. Lethe also told Lisha that the knights in Molten Mountain Fort are here too, and they want to see her. Suddenly, the knights came. They said they are looking for a lady who made His Highness drop everything and rush back home. They looked to Lisha that said, "Are you her?" They went to talk to Lisha. They were 6 knights called the Imperial Knights. Lisha seemed lovely to them. Everyone from the knights came with a gift for Lisha. Joanna gave Lisha a special flower that only grows in Molten Mountain Fort. Elvin and Melvin gave her a wreath known to chase bad dreams. Trafford gave her some berries he found in the fort. They taste exquisite and it also protects your body from extreme heat. Neghelt gave her a horn of a fiend that he killed with his bare hands. But Denia took the horn from him and yelling at him for giving her this gift. Lisha thanked everyone for their gifts and told them that she will cherish their gifts. Then she offered them to serve them a delicious tea in return. Helios then entered the room. Lisha greeted him when he entered and he greeted her back. All the knights were shocked when they saw him greet her back. After Helios took a seat, he noticed the doll that Lisha was holding, so he asked her to give it to him. Helios then said that this doll belongs to his sister. Her nanny gave it to her as a gift when she got kicked out of the palace. Lisha was shocked when she heard that because this means that she is a princess. Helios told her that Rhea is the other Aleph and it makes sense that Rhea detected the sacred zone and came by. It's easier to sense the same type of quirk. Helios noticed that the doll has worn out a lot compared to before. Kais was yelling at Rhea because she brought her doll when they went to see Her Majesty. Helios then told him to not be too hard on her. She just brought her favorite doll. It's not a big deal. After some time, Athea summoned Helios and told him that Kais is pretty upset. She said, Kais came to her in tears and told her that Helios lectured him. Helios told her that it's just a doll and Astria is still a child. Ather told him that she knows he did it out of love for Rhea. Then she told him to help Kais save face in menial things like this. She told Helios that he is highly respected, and Kais always feels insecure about getting on his bad side. Helios told her it's understood and he will go and apologize to Kais. Once Rhea is named the crown princess, no one will dare to touch her. Helios though that Kais would at least pretend to be a good father until then, but he was wrong to believe that. Lisha then asked Helios if he is going to see Rhea. Lisha told him that she probably came by to see him. She believes her brother will protect her. Sebastian told Lisha that it's not as simple as it sounds. She asked him why. He is her brother. Sebastian then told her that that's why. The current imperial consort is Her Majesty's second husband, and Helios is the son of the ex-imperial consort. Helios told her that it's true that he cannot make a move very easily. Just visiting her once isn't going to make any difference. It's going to make Kais keep his guard up. Helios then told Lisha to finish fixing the doll and he will figure something out. Lisha enthusiastically agreed. At night, Rhea was sleeping while hugging her brother's jar. The maids were watching her and said that she is doing that again. Maybe she is scared of sleeping alone. They said that Rhea said she could hear a dragon roaring at night, like it's a monster living under her bed. While one of the maids were talking, suddenly Kais came from behind her and slapped her hard that she fell to the ground. Kais then said, "Didn't I tell you to turn all the lights at sundown?" Then he told the maid to keep her mouth shut and get lost. Kais sent to Rhea's room and while she was sleeping, he snatched the jar from her hands. Rhea shouted and said, "Mine!" Kais sensed some familiar quirk from the jar. Then he realized what this meant. Kais then turned to Rhea and told her with an angry tone of voice that she went outside. Rhea fearfully told him that she didn't. Kais then said, "Then who gave you this?" Rhea said again that she didn't go out. He told her to stop lying and say who was it. She said again that she didn't go out. Kais became angrier and tossed the jar next to her. He yelled at her and said, "I told you not to get dirty air from outside." Don't go outside on your own. Kais then left the room, and while leaving he yelled at Rhea and told her to go to bed. Kais was really annoyed from her teleport quirk, and it became more annoying to contain it, so he was thinking that he should double the barrier. So, what is gonna happen to Rhea, and will Helios do something about it? That is what we are gonna find out in the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more.